Okay, so hey you guys, what's up? My name is OnnaDaPlug, and this is my first time coming on here and doing a YouTube video. I was supposed to Ben did it, but I was kind of playing around. My boyfriend Ben telling me to do it, but I was nervous. But forget it, I'm just about to do it. So, let's get into this story time about the time when I got robbed and held at gunpoint when I was 13 years old. And also, if you hear buttons bashing in the background, it's my boyfriend playing 2K. If you hear kids in the background, that is my daughter downstairs acting like a mad child. I'm telling you, all day. But anyways, so we're going to use different names in this story, and what else was I going to say? I forgot, so whatever. So it was this house. Okay, so it was this house that I partially grew up in when I was younger, when I was a child. And when I got older and I got to be 13, we moved back into this house in this neighborhood that I grew up in as well. Everybody in the neighborhood knew me. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who my father was, knew my brothers and sisters. I have twin brothers and sisters, and everybody knew them too. So, and I also have a little sister, and at the time my little sister was about 3 years old. And so I lived with my father, and I had this favorite cousin. We're going to call her Keisha. My favorite cousin Keisha, loved her to death. We was always together. Anytime you see one of us, you see the other. And she lived with me as well, and her family lived with me. And so the first week that we moved in that house, we actually got robbed at first. I wouldn't even say we got robbed because they didn't get anything when they came in. But our first week of us moving back into that house, they broke into our house. As soon as everybody got word that we was back in the neighborhood and we lived over there and they seen my dad's cars and stuff outside our house, they just instantly literally came and broke in. And our first week that we moved into that house, everything in the house was put up and, stuff like that. But we didn't stay there for the first week. We actually stayed at my mother's house. So one day when we went over there and we went home, we opened up the door, everything was everywhere. It's just they totally trashed our house. They pulled the plants up, they emptied the plants out all on the floor. Back then, that's when big screen TVs was still in, and we had a big screen TV in our den. They went in the den, they pulled out the screen off the bottom of the TV and everything. They really messed our house up. You got it. They really messed our house up. I don't know if they was actually really trying to rob us or if they was just trying to trash our house. I was just confused. But anywho, so this one particular day, we had been staying there. We was maybe there for a while, maybe some months, because at this time I believe it was just now getting cold outside, a little chilly. And so me and my cousin was in my room. My dad was out, doing his thing. My mother and my little sister was downstairs in the basement in my father's room sleeping. My room was upstairs, towards the back. So me and my cousin is in my room, we talking on the phone, doing stuff that we don't have no business doing, talking on the phone to little boys, and it was just crazy. I know for a fact if my dad would have knew or if he found out, I would have got my butt whooped, for sure. It was crazy. And growing up, I wanted for nothing. Growing up, I wanted for not one thing. So it was just everything was kind of hard. Everybody was always trying to do something to me, or do something to us, I guess you can say. So, or get close to me so they can do stuff like this. Because actually the person that did this in the story that I'm about to tell you guys, I know I'm about to get to the story. The person that did this was, let's just say they were very, very, very close to me. Very close to me, okay? And so we sitting in the room, and also my older sister was there as well. We're going to call my older sister Shauna. My older sister Shauna was there, her and her son and stuff. And I knew my cousin Keisha, I knew her dad was supposed to take my my sister Shauna home. I knew that she was supposed to take her home, I just didn't know when. So he actually went and took her home while me and my cousin Keisha was in the back, talking on the phone, being hot in the butt, and I was flowering in her hair and stuff. And nobody said anything. And just the day before, my dad had actually just said, like, because my dad had a lot of cars and, like, people could just, like, you know, somebody need to go home, take the keys, take them home. And we had this van. And when my uncle would take the van and go somewhere, everybody would want to ride. Like, my uncle has a lot of kids, so all his kids will want to ride and jump in the car and stuff. And my dad had just said, every time that van move, everybody don't have to leave this house. Like, everybody don't need to be leaving this house. Like, somebody needs to be here. Everybody don't always have to go. So, just exactly when they walked out the door, and my uncle walked out the door to take my sister Shauna home. As soon as he walked out the door, I hear a boom. And, you know, we still sitting there. I'm still flat ironing her hair. I'm not thinking nothing of it or anything like that. Because I'm thinking maybe it was my little nephew slamming the screen door or something. Like, maybe he slammed the door. Because it was like, it was too fast, like, for me to think that it was actually anything happening. But it was. I'm sitting there and I'm flat ironing her hair. This guy comes. He just opened my door, y'all. He just opened my door like he lived there, like he about to ask me something or something like that. So when he first opened up the door, I started laughing because initially I thought that maybe it was my cousin Keisha's, you know, brothers or something, you know, have new guns and stuff, and they playing around and just like trying to kind of come and show them off and stuff. You know, it might sound weird, but we from the hood. That's what boys do, you know, so it's something that we used to. But anyway, so I just started laughing. So he tells me, like, he look at me and he walk in my room and put the gun on my head like, bitch, I ain't playing with the money. So I'm like, oh, like, I'm like, oh, okay. So when he does that and he puts the gun on my head and say that, the other guy comes from out the hallway and put the gun on my cousin Keisha's head. You know, my cousin Keisha was a little bit more scared than I was. I would say, I wouldn't say that I was used to this situation, but let's just say I was prepared for this situation if it ever came, you know. So but I was still scared, don't get me wrong. I just held my composure a little bit better than she did. And so he comes and he telling us to like walk out to the hallway or whatever, and he wanted us to crouch down, then he wanted us to get up. Like, he really didn't know exactly what he wanted. The guy that had the gun to my head, he was high off cocaine, and he was really, 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 like, hyped up. Like, he was really hyped up. And so he slips up, the guy that had the gun to my head, he slips up and says my name. He says, Anna, where's the money? So I'm like, like, what, did he just say my name? So I'm like, I'm tripping, like he just said my name. So when he says that, we're walking through the hallway. At the same time, you guys, as he's walking us to our den. So, you know, and he made my cousin go, the other guy made my cousin go around this way, and he made me go through the kitchen around the other way to the den. So, and the whole time he's taking us to the den, he's actually talking to us, and he's telling us, like, oh yeah, I've been watching y'all all day. I seen your nephew outside playing, bouncing a ball. I seen when your dad left. I seen such and such and such. So, these niggas really they've been watching my house all day. Like, I don't know who they thought we was. Maybe, like, you know, Pablo Escobar or something. But, nigga, you ain't have to do all that. Like, come on. Like, why is you sitting just watching our house, stalking our house? That's crazy. So, he's saying all this stuff, and as he's saying all of this stuff, it's kind of making me a little bit more nervous and scared, because I'm like, you know, if he willing to wait outside all day and watch us and spy on us, you know, it's really something that he want from out of here. So, I started getting a little bit nervous, and when he takes us to the den, he then goes downstairs and goes gets my little sister and my mother. When he bring them upstairs, he has the gun to my little sister's head. My little sister was 3 years old, you guys. And he has the gun to my little sister's head. Grant you, she don't know what's going on. She see these weird guys in here with these hoodies on, pulled all the way up to their face. You can only see their eyes. Like, you know, it must have been really scary for her. Like, really scary for her. And so after he gets my mother and he makes them sit down in the den, and he asking us, like, who else here, and we keep saying nobody. But my little cousins and them, which is my cousin Keisha's little brothers, they're actually in the room sleeping. So we keep saying nobody because we didn't want them to go in there and go get them. So we keep saying nobody, and at the same time he pulling everything out our cabinets, the cereal and everything. He's dumping the cereal on the floor. They're pulling the cushions off the couch and pulling the stuffing stuff out the cushions. Like, I don't know, like, it was crazy. So then they went in the room anyways to go check. They brought my little cousin out. Another reason why I didn't want him to go get my little cousin, because my little cousin, like, he's really, like, was not the average 11-year-old. Like, he really was with it. Like, he's ready to protect and serve his family. Like, he don't want anything to happen to us. And, like, he's just always been like that, and he's still like that. So, when they went in there and got him, he was actually already kind of awoke. And he was, like, thinking about what he was going to do. And in the den where they had put us at, we always kept this 38 in the den. And usually my uncle, you know, we would put it in a cushion or we would put it up under the couch. And this particular time when they brought my little cousin in there or whatever into the den, as soon as he went in there, he dived on the couch and he put his hands up under the couch like this with his face down in the couch. And when he was as soon as he did that, I knew what he was doing. I knew what he was going for as soon as he did that. And I'm praying in my head like, God, please don't let that gun be there, God. Please don't, because that's the only gun that we have in here to protect ourselves. These two guys got a gun. You know, I don't know who else is here. And, you know, stuff like that. Like, I just don't know. So, when he went to go feel, the gun wasn't there because my uncle had put it actually up under the couch. And, you know, we didn't know that. So, we still sitting there and they asking us, like, where he be going. Like, you know, what you got, where the money at, The other guy goes and opens up my back door. He leaves the back door open or whatever. They still searching and stuff, and the whole time he talking to us, he telling us, like, he's really telling me, like, how long, like, they done planned this. Like, he's telling me, like, they done planned this for so freaking long and months and stuff. And, like, I knew him because their voice sounded so familiar. He knew my name, you know, he knew things about me that he shouldn't have known. And it's like, it was crazy. Like, one of the guys' voices sounded familiar, the other guy's voice did not sound familiar. So I'm like, what's really going on? So then the other guy, not the guy that had the gun to my head, but the other guy, he came into the den and he peeked out the patio door, and my dog was out there. We have an all-white American bulldog, and her name was Nandi. He peeked out the door. Nandi seen that his mask and stuff on, and she just started going crazy. She took it, she was backing up from the door and just charging the door. Like, she was ramming the door with her head so hard, like, I thought she was a bull for a minute. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So she just keep on ramming the door and stuff, and I think she seen my face and, you know, like, kind of smelt my fear and seen how scared I was, you know. And honestly, I thought the door was gonna come down. The guy, he like jumped back like, whoa, you know. And then the guy that was in the den with us, he kept on saying, because my cousins and them was crying, and he kept on saying, we ain't gonna do nothing to y'all, it's gonna be alright, we not gonna do nothing, he not gonna do nothing. And once again, we don't know what the other guy is going to do because he's so high on cocaine. I don't know what he going to do to me or what he capable of. You might be cool, you know what I'm saying, and not do nothing to us, but we really don't know. We don't know y'all. Y'all are robbing us. Are you serious? Are you serious, man? So I'm sitting there, and then you know what, when I sat back and I'm just sitting there thinking while they pulling all my stuff out and throwing it all over the floor and stuff like that, I just sat up on the couch like, you know what, and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, I got on some gangster stuff, like, you know what, it's cool, it's alright, because when my dad catch y'all niggas, it's bad, you hear me, it's bad. So I'm like, yeah, alright, it's cool. So I'm sitting there, I let them finish doing whatever they gotta do or whatever. And I'm just like, and I was praying the whole time too. And then next thing you know, you hear somebody come to the door. And the guy that comes to the door, he like, cuz, they coming. He talking about my uncle. My uncle was back from taking my sister home because my sister Shauna only lived up the street. So so they runs out the back door and along the side of the house. My uncle coming in the front of the house. I think my uncle did if I can remember, I think he did say he kind of seen one of them coming off the side of the house. And we telling my uncle what's wrong and stuff. And I had hurry up and I got up and I called my dad. And when I called my dad, and as soon as my dad answered the phone, I didn't even tell this dude what happened. I didn't even get nothing out of my mouth. All I said was daddy, and he heard it in my voice. He heard it in my voice that something was wrong with me. He must have felt it in his spirit or something. He was there with it. I couldn't believe how fast he was there. Like, it was just unbelievable. Like, as soon as I hung up the phone with him, my father was walking in the door, y'all. No lie. No lie. Right hand of God. Like, he was walking through the door. I'm like, how fast did he, like, how could he get here that fast? I was still shooken up, but I'm like, dang, he got here fast. So, after that, you know, we all standing around like, whoop, 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 you know, talking da-da-da-da-da. But I don't know what they thought. And you guys, they didn't get anything. They didn't get nothing. They didn't get nothing at all. Nope. They didn't even get my jewelry. Like, it was crazy. Like, they came in there and they took a loss. After all this planning that they did, you know, to rob us and making all this stuff up, they took a loss because they did not win. They didn't get nothing. God do not like ugly, I'm telling you. So we all sitting there and stuff. And as we're sitting there, we're all talking and stuff like whoop, whoop, whoop. We all go outside. We all got out the house and we went outside. Remember I told you everybody in this neighborhood know me, and the person that did it and had something to do with it was very, very close to me. Very close to me. Okay, when we go outside, my mom out there, she calls my other sister. Let's say this other sister's name is Tia. She called my sister Tia and, you know, tell her what happened and stuff. And why, as she's telling her what happened, she like, oh, for real, da 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 da. She tells my other sister, which is my other sister is one of the twins. So she tells her, and we all standing outside. And let's just say while we standing outside, as we talking, and my mom's on the phone with my sister Tia, let's call this guy, let's call him Cricket Pete, y'all. Cricket Pete. Cricket Pete. Cricket Pete, remember, he's very, very close to me. He's somebody that's like here. Like, he close to me. Like here, okay? Close. So, while we all standing outside, here come Cricket Pete riding around the corner. He rides around the corner and ride up in this white car like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? Da-da-da-da-da. You know, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me? Squeeze me? How did he know? How did he know what happened? How did he know somebody came into our house and put a gun to our head? How did he know we just got robbed? Because as I can recall, nobody called him. Nobody called him. Period. So I don't know how he would know that we got robbed and know to rush around there right after it happened. And when he came over there, my aunt said, that's the dude I just seen standing on the corner. When they rolled back up and my aunt and uncle came back home from dropping my sister Shauna off, it was guys outside. It wasn't just the two guys in the house. It was like 3 or 2 guys outside. One was standing across the street like they was surrounding my house. And the one that was standing across the street was Cricket Pete. And when Cricket Pete came up, my aunt said that was the guy that was standing on the corner. Exactly. How did you know that we was how'd you know that was happening? I just didn't understand that. And my heart was broken because it's like, you know, they came in here and put a gun to my head, and like, you really allowed that, how close you are to me. And once I got the whole story, the story was really crazy, you guys. Like, once I got the whole story, I couldn't believe it that, you know, people that close to me would want to do something like that to me, or like harm me or anything in that nature, you know, or put me in that type of situation. I just could not believe it. Long story short, Cricket Pete, the gun that got put to my head was actually Cricket Pete's gun. Cricket Pete and the guys that came into my house were in jail together. Let's call, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna say who it was. What? Yep. My cousin, it was my cousin. The 2 guys that was in jail with Cricket Pete, my cousin, let's call her my cousin Lonnie. My cousin Lonnie trying to act like everything, you know, was cool. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Da, 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 da. It's my cousin, y'all. It's my blood. It's my blood, y'all. She comes and she's like, oh, trying to act all sorry for us and stuff like that. Come to find out, one of the guys that came in there was her dude. And them and Cricket Pete was planning this ever since like back in last March or something. They was planning this whole time to come up in our house. They was planning it in jail. So when they was in jail, y'all, their come up when they got out of jail, where they was gonna get their money from, was from us. Okay? It was from us. That was just their goal. That was their plan. When they got out of jail and they got out of jail together, they went to my cousin Lonnie's house. They was all talking about it and stuff. My cousin Lonnie was in on it too. She tried to get my other cousin to get in on it, but my other cousin didn't know that it was us that they was, you know, going to be coming and like robbing. But my cousin had said no anyways. And then once my cousin found out that it was us, then my cousin spilled the beans. And then she told us, you know, everything about my cousin Lonnie and Cricket Pete and them. But you know what, that's something else. If you guys want to hear that, and you guys want to hear that story time, or you want me to tell you what happened with that and all the mix up, you know, and my cousin and stuff, and how that happened and her boyfriend, just let me know if you like this, you know, story time. It's already been 20 minutes. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, and I hope I did a good job. I hope I didn't say like too many times, and I hope I didn't look down too much. So please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to me, OnnaDaPlug. And that's pretty much it. I got a lot more stories for you guys. Got a lot more good stories. Just let me know if you want me to do another one. I definitely will. I'm definitely going to stay consistent. And just please like, comment, and subscribe. OnnaDaPlug. Thank you guys. I'm out.